Hey, and welcome to Blushing Phoenix. I am April, and I'm so glad you're here. If you've been around for a while, you know that over the past couple of videos, I've been giving updates on products or things that I've used in the past that I haven't updated you on in quite some time. And that started with the Blushing Phoenix Tea Blend, and then we talked about CBD Cream, the original number 12. And today I'm going to talk to you about a prescription medication called Propranolol. It is a beta blocker. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it, if I'm still using it, what it's used for, and most importantly, does it work? So stick around. All right, my friends, let's talk about propranolol. Propranolol is a beta blocker. It is this little pill. I'm going to show you. I have a 40 milligram here. So I don't know, it might be too small to really, let me get there it is. Little bitty pill that packs a punch. The first question I'm gonna answer here is, do I still use it? As you can see, I have a prescription and I still have pills in here. 40 milligrams is what was prescribed to me. A lot of times when I would take this, I'm trying to see if there's one in here. Oh yeah. A lot of times when I would take this, I would actually cut it in half to give me a 20 milligram because they can be a little potent. So depending on what my situation was, would warrant whether I was gonna take a whole one or a half. So do I still use it? My response to this is yes and no, because yes, I have it and I can use it if I decide to, but I also say no because I haven't used it in a long time because I haven't had to use it. I wanna say the last time I used propranolol was like September 10th, 2021, and that was because I had a lot of anxiety that day and I went to go get an IUD. I know TMI for some of y'all, but I got an IUD. It was after I had the baby. It was a follow-up appointment, and I got an IUD, and I just felt really anxious about going to the doctor that day, and just I had had a baby a few months before, so it was just crazy. Anyway, I took a half because I didn't want my blood pressure to be up and I just wanted to be calm. So anyway, that's the last time I used it, and it definitely worked. So I haven't had to use it since then. I even went on a trip for work recently where I did some public speaking and did not take this medication prior to public speaking. And for a lot of people who actually are prescribed propranolol, I don't know why I can't pronounce this all of a sudden now that I'm talking about it, propranolol, people who do a lot of public speaking might actually get a beta blocker prescribed to them because it actually helps with public speaking and the fear around it. So anyway, I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. So what is propranolol used for? Well, it is a beta blocker. As I've said before, it is used to treat heart problems, high blood pressure. It can help prevent migraines. Some doctors will prescribe it for migraines. And also a lot of doctors have started to, I don't know if they've started to, but I hadn't heard about it prior to my doctor. They started to prescribe it for anxiety medication as an anxiety medication instead of anti-anxiety medications. The side effects are a little different. They're not addictive. And so a lot of doctors will try to test out a beta blocker for anxiety or the symptoms of anxiety, which include chronic blushing, flushing, shaking, and things of that nature. A couple of the side effects, I'm going to read these off to you. It says that some people will report feeling tired, dizzy, lightheaded. These can be signs of a slow heart rate because this medication does help reduce your heart rate. Cold fingers or toes. Beta blockers may affect the blood supply to your hands and feet, and difficulty sleeping or nightmares. I didn't have major issues with propranolol. I might feel a little sluggish if I took the full 40 milligrams, and that's more so if I wasn't actively doing something. I don't think I even noticed it if I was actively moving around and doing something, but it's more of like when I'm sitting at my desk and doing like think work that I would start feeling so drowsy and just exhausted. It does calm you down, and for those of us who have a lot of adrenaline, you have a lot of epinephrine running through your system, and a lot of flushing and blushing actually is from that cortisol release. There's an epinephrine release that's going on in your system, and propranolol helps kind of back all of that down. So you're not getting that jolt that some of us love in regards to being able to be up and going. Propranolol can actually like calm you down so much that it can pull a lot of that down as well. And so you can feel a little sluggish and tired. On 20 milligrams, I don't feel much of that at all. But on 40 milligrams, if I'm sitting doing think work, then I would feel a little sluggish. So the question is, does it work? So for me, if you've been around the channel for a while, you're gonna hear me say, yes, it works. Again, just like anything else, you have to test out for yourself what works for you. It may not work for you. You need to talk to your doctor about if you can even take this medication, if this is the right medication for you. But for me, this is one of the things that I 100% would say to somebody who is struggling with chronic blushing, flushing, sweating, shaking, a lot of anxiety symptoms. I would tell them to go talk to their doctor about propranolol or a beta blocker, whatever would be the best option for you. There's other types of beta blockers that are beyond propranolol. It's just what my doctor prescribed to me. Is it foolproof? No. And I hesitate to say that because it has been so successful for me. There's so many times in the past when I've taken it, when I've been in an office setting with people, and a lot of people around me, where you just don't even think about flushing. You don't care, you're not obsessed. So for me, it really helps stop a lot of the erythrophobia, which is the fear of turning red, which creates this cycle of turning red, and you make yourself turn red because you're afraid you're going to turn red. And so for me, propranolol really stopped that kind of critical thought process to where I just didn't care. And therefore, as a direct result, I didn't flush. But there was a couple of times when I was in an office and around people, and I didn't feel it and I didn't care about it, but I did turn red. I didn't even realize it was happening, and I just didn't care as much. But I was shocked to see that I still had a flushing situation happening because it had been so foolproof prior to that. Hey, if you're finding this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps support the channel, and I so appreciate it. All right, I actually wanted to tell you, as I was doing some research about propranolol, I found this this study that it looks like they did some testing on propranolol, and I'll put this link in the description box below, but this is just a small segment of it where it's talking about using propranolol. It looks like they were using it for people who had been diagnosed with rosacea and the flushing that comes with rosacea, but flushing is flushing. It's the blood vessels that are dilating there. So this particular study, in this one part, I'm just going to read this small part, and then you can look at the study yourself if you're interested. It says, it looks like they had given these patients different options, different treatments, and propranolol was one of them. So it says the propranolol group showed a significant faster and larger reduction in clinical flushing scores compared to other groups. Finally, erythema and flushing improvement was observed in one patient already after 1 week of treatment with propranolol 40 milligrams once daily combined with minocycline and tranexamic acid. Obviously, there's more to this study, but I did find some research on propranolol and flushing, and it actually having some positive effects. So anyway, you can feel free to check out that if you would like to. So where can you get propranolol? Talk to your doctor. I am not a medical professional. I'm a random girl on the internet talking about my own experience. But you can talk to your doctor or your healthcare provider about propranolol, the effects, what you got going on with your flushing and blushing. It's always good to talk to your medical professional to see and make sure and rule out other things, and then have them help you navigate your journey. You can make a suggestion to them that you heard that propranolol can be very helpful for people who have chronic blushing and flushing. So that's my quick rundown on propranolol and my experience with it. In my next video, I will update you in more detail about my public speaking situation that I had going on not too long ago that I did not take propranolol at. Did I flush? You'll find out soon. Be sure to subscribe and click that bell notification if you're interested in getting more videos like this. Hey, you listen to me. You are so much more than redness. Look at that. My lights are making me hot, and I am flushing. And I'm so much more than that. And you are so much more than redness. I look forward to serving you in my next video.